Cash Global TV
Yo,
subscribe.
community, what's the deal? What we own? Cash, $ for the S. Today, we gonna get into some more esoteric knowledge. I got some non-biased, non-mainstream media I'm about to parlay for you guys. Put it right on the table. We gonna eat the meat and potatoes, spit out the bones, divulging some of this information. Disregard that indoctrination that they didn't try to put upon us this whole time we've been alive, and get to the real facts. Let's get to it. The facts are stranger than fiction. Globes in the chat. Bang that.
Cash
His
Global
equipment
TV
confiscated after he
subscribe.
tried being the first IRL streamer out of Antarctica. Just 1 hour after he started live streaming in Antarctica, he has his Starlink taken away and is told that he can't get it back until he leaves the continent. His Starlink is what allows him to live stream from virtually anywhere on Earth. Now, the community notes are saying that it was just the cruise ship policy, that they don't allow Starlinks on board because they want you to pay for their internet or whatever, which sure is true because he was on a cruise ship at the time, but in the video you can hear him getting told that he can't get it back even when he goes on land.
Yeah. Okay. It's confiscated. You'll receive it on the way back.
You can't use it on the land? You can't use it on the land? No. All right.
And then he posted this video saying this is what he saw before they took away his Starlink. Some sort of massive wall of ice with a cave entrance going into something. Antarctica is the most gate-kept landmass on the entire planet, and we occasionally get glimpses of what people who went there claim they saw. Like that time Mr. Beast, who did a whole video in Antarctica, let it slip on a live stream of what he claimed he saw there and got really nervous after.
Have you ever been to Antarctica? Yeah. Do you believe in the ice wall? Yeah, I saw the ice wall. Well. Yeah, you saw it too. I can't say out straight. No way, but we'll talk about it later. That's crazy. He almost leaked it. Let's just say you always need someone with you when you're in Antarctica.
Here's another clip of Neon, who claims that Mr. Beast told him something about Antarctica, but it's Neon, so take it with a grain of salt.
No, but it's crazy, bro. I kid you not. Chat, is it not possible to time travel? In Antarctica, they have portals. That's cap. Okay. Well, okay, how do you know? Huh? Like, okay, I know. Why? Trust me. Okay, but why? Trust me. You've been to Antarctica? No, I just know. I'm telling you right now, don't ask questions. There are portals in this world.
Last year, this guy, Ethan Guo, tried flying over every continent on Earth and got detained in Antarctica for 3 months after he flew over a tiny little island down there, possibly getting debriefed and being told that he didn't see anything down there. There's this whistleblower, Eric J. Hecker, a former contractor for the government, claiming they're experimenting with high-tech weaponry down there.
In 2010, I was selected to go down to the South Pole Station in Antarctica for an entire year by Raytheon Polar Services as an employee of a third-party contractor for the National Science Foundation. The technology at the South Pole Station certainly can do what it is presented as its primary purposes, and unfortunately, much more. Unfortunately, when they first fired it up, that was when we had the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand. There was 2 incidental shots before they were able to target it correctly. This is an earthquake-generating device as well.
This encyclopedia from 1958 that talks about a 13,000-foot-high ice dome in Antarctica. And finally, there's this speech by Admiral Richard Byrd, the OG granddaddy whistleblower of Antarctica.
Admiral Byrd, you've been to both the North Pole and the South Pole. Is there any unexplored land left on this Earth that might appeal to adventurous young Americans?
Yes, there is. But strangely enough, there's left in the world today an area as big as the United States that's never been seen by a human being. And that's beyond the pole, on the other side of the South Pole, from Middle America. And I think it's quite astonishing.
That's a tremendous
So there's a lot of adventure left down at the bottom of the world.
Well, Admiral, do you hope to see that?
I do. I think year after year, bottom of the world, because the government has really become interested.
So is everyone just in on some massive joke, or is there something in Antarctica that they're purposely hiding from the rest of us?
Discovered a 12.
That was a good way to put it. Is Antarctica a big joke, or is there something more telling? I know just for the matter of fact that all the nations have a peace treaty in that one area when they can't even agree on what they want for breakfast when they meet up with each other. So just that alone lets me know it's something strange going on over there. And we can't keep ignoring all these videos of that wall of ice or ice wall. Let me know where you think that rabbit hole leads. You Glober, Flat Earth, don't matter. Let me know.
12-mile thick structure hidden underneath the Bermuda Triangle that's unlike anything else on Earth, and nobody can fully explain how it got there. Okay, so this is obviously wild. Researchers were studying seismic waves passing through the Earth whenever they found something beneath Bermuda that shouldn't be there. Okay. They're saying that what they found was a massive rock layer that's 20 kilometers thick, which is over 12 miles, of solid rock just sitting under the island. So, and here's another thing that's crazy, just to add a little bit more to it. They're saying that that's roughly twice as thick as anything scientists have ever seen beneath other volcanic islands. They're saying that this structure is completely unique to anything else on the planet. If you're like me and you're obviously wondering how it got there, they're saying that the leading theory right now is that an ancient volcanic eruption was so massive that it basically injected mantle rock directly into the Earth's crust. So what does that mean? What they're saying that means is that it created a giant raft that's been lifting the ocean floor by over 1,600 feet. I don't know. And before anybody has any conspiracies, they're saying that it does not explain the Bermuda Triangle disappearances, because scientists say that those are mostly just rogue waves and the fact that it's one of the busiest shipping lanes on Earth. But can we also just all sit back and realize that one of the most mysterious places on the planet also has a completely unexplained geological structure underneath it? Because that's a little bit too perfect.
Oh my, this is absolutely hilarious. They're really pulling out the big guns with this one. I guess the other distractions aren't working. Trump has authorized the release of UFO evidence from secret alien bases. President Donald Trump has reportedly approved a request that could open up some of America's most secretive UFO-linked facilities, in a move that will raise hopes among those in search of long sought-after answers to the existence of alien life. Bro, my cheeks hurt. This is so funny. This is so funny. While the Pentagon and U.S. government have consistently denied recovering any physical evidence of extraterrestrial visitors, multiple whistleblowers have told Congress that secret programs have long covered up the truth. Okay, let's go. You know what? Psychics have been saying that disclosure is coming, disclosure is coming, disclosure is coming. I just don't think that they realized that it was going to be tied to the Epstein files. I don't think that they realized it was going to be a disclosure as a result of an attempt to cover up a child trafficking ring. Here we have another example of the darkest, most disturbing, horrifying that has ever happened to us somehow being funny. It's, again, so funny, it's putting South Park and The Onion completely out of business.
Shut down the...
I can't wholeheartedly say that I agree that it's a distraction from the E-files, because people aren't even honing in and paying attention to the egregious things that were in the E-files as I believe they should. So it's a distraction from a distraction from a distraction. People are so desensitized these days, I don't think people are going to budge even when they hear the disclosure, if it ever happens.
airspace because the Pentagon wanted to put people's lives at risk and the FAA said no. They shut down the airspace around El Paso and parts of New Mexico because people at the Pentagon, no doubt Pete Hegseth, wanted to put people's lives at risk in order to test a new toy, and the FAA had to step in and say no. At least that's what multiple anonymous whistleblowers are now sharing. In case you missed it, last night, in the middle of the night for most of us, the FAA shut down the airspace around El Paso and parts of New Mexico without warning for 10 days originally, though it was lifted in the morning. They cited security concerns, and there were seemingly zero exceptions to this. And of course, people were confused and concerned, doubly so because a lot of officials, including locals who should have been briefed on what was going on, clearly weren't, including, I'm told, higher ups at the FAA who didn't know what was happening. The Pentagon claimed that this was all in response to cartel drone activity in the area, which immediately people pointed out was suspect, because drone activity in the area isn't rare. But it turns out there might be a kernel of truth to this. Not that the issue was the drone incursion itself, but rather the way that the military and the Pentagon were choosing to handle it, using an untested technology that they had yet to coordinate with the FAA on. See, reportedly, they have a new toy that they've been developing, using lasers that would intercept and take down drones. But it sounds like they haven't actually tested this in any sort of airspace that could put people at risk. And the FAA hasn't been allowed to perform a safety assessment to determine what sorts of risks this technology could pose to other aircraft. We're talking commercial aircraft, passenger planes. In fact, reportedly, military officials rolled out this shiny new toy earlier this week and used the technology to down what they thought was a cartel drone, which turned out to be a birthday balloon. Now imagine they did that in even busier commercial airspace. I know some people are going to say, well, confusing a balloon for a drone is different than confusing a commercial airliner for a drone. Okay, you want to trust the same people that are refusing to work with the FAA on keeping people safe to keep people safe? Those are the detail-oriented individuals at the helm that you feel absolutely certain would never make a decision that would put other people's lives at risk. After all, they did manage to identify and neutralize the extreme threat that was the birthday balloon. Mind you, the risks to other aircraft don't just begin and end at their misidentification. Lasers are dangerous around aircraft. Just ask anyone, including 8-year-olds who are taught not to shine lasers up at aircraft. And all this when they reportedly had a meeting scheduled for later this month with the
Yesterday, they have just announced a massive archaeological rescue mission to try and find the lost labyrinth of Egypt underneath Hawara Pyramid. To just quickly catch you up to speed on what's happening with this site, this is the Pyramid of Hawara, and historically there has been this massive legend that underneath the pyramid there is a huge labyrinth that apparently Herodotus was quoted as saying that it was more impressive and astonishing and mind-blowing than the pyramids of Giza, that it had 3,000 rooms, that it was massive sub-levels after sub-level after sub-level. And basically, in the last sort of 50 years, academia has laughed it off or just written it away as some sort of myth. But there has been multiple independent scans of different companies, different scanning methods, LiDAR, satellite, who have all found evidence that there is in fact a huge complex underneath this site. And the evidence was so convincing that it has now got full permission from the Egyptian authorities to start digging. So you can understand how phenomenally excited I am. This is the Pyramid of Hawara and the canal that runs alongside it. This is a little bit of the insane rat run of level. It's a true labyrinth. I can't even talk. I'm so excited. It goes down to potentially minus 100 meters. There are chambers in here that are huge, at 40 meters, 50 meters, 80 meters. Rokla University, the Matahar expedition in 2008-2009, which was massively silenced by the Egyptian authorities at the time when they came out with this data. We've got Merlin Burrows did satellite scans. They are a legit British satellite scanning company that are affiliated with the army, the British Army. They use the same satellites as the British Army. There we go. And then we've got Geoscan. All of these guys have correlating data showing the same thing. What is the use of having all this scans and data if we can't actually get on the ground, digging stuff up and seeing with our own eyes? Well, that's about to happen. They have announced a preservation plan and a rescue mission to start digging down in this site, literally as of now. They could start digging next month, and it's proper, it's all official. It has a short-term plan, a medium-term plan, and a long-term plan for the site and for the area, for long-term preservation.
So it seems to me that people that get called crazy and have these outlandish thoughts about our ancient history, and they don't downplay the intelligence of them, end up coming right. Just give them a few years.
Well, that would be in addition to you renting.
Tell the world about this for years and years. So let's help him spread the message. Please go and look at archaeologicalrescue.org/Hawara and keep an eye on this, because
I don't know how I didn't see this coming, because for years now we've heard we're going to own nothing and be happy, right? But I thought the future plan to be able to access the internet is that you need digital ID, right? Like you can't log in and use the internet without it being linked to who exactly you are. Well, that would be in addition to you renting computers. Jeff Bezos is saying it's inefficient to have a personal, your own computer. You know how we don't really own games anymore or TV shows, like it's all subscription based? Well, that's planned for computers as well, and not just gaming computers. So now you can subscribe to a laptop from HP that you do not own. Don't worry though, customer service will always be standing by. It's AI powered, woo! But you will never own it. And this also reminds me about how, what is it, BMW offered a subscription. You buy the car, but they offer you a subscription to be able to use its full horsepower and like heated seats. Do you guys remember that? So look, HP is offering a laptop subscription, $129.99 a month with a big RTX 5080 in there, but you don't own it. And you know, this actually all started when we all of a sudden, we weren't supposed to jailbreak our phones. We weren't supposed to modify the PlayStation or any video game console. You're not supposed to modify it. And it's not just about warranty, like how there's a little tab in it. Once you take it apart, they know you've opened the thing and the warranty is void. It's they don't want you being able to do things with it. This is why it's good to have a library. This is why it's good to have physical things in your hands that you own, because it seems that there's an agenda to make sure that you own nothing. But don't worry, you'll be happy about it. Jeff Bezos famously likened owning high-end PCs to the era when factories had to run their own private power generators. Once centralized power grids arrived, that model became obsolete. He argues personal computing is heading the same way. Now, this person who's conspiring a little bit says that this is not about better technology, it's about control. If access can be revoked at any moment, can you really say you own anything anymore? But the crazy part is they're pretty much already making it impossible to have your own computer for the average person because the components are expensive. So they're already pushing it in that direction, but they're making it seem like this will be a solution. You can't afford a computer? Don't worry, you can rent one. Absolutely wild, totally part of it.
So this is something literally insane that I just learned today.
Hey, let me know if you guys see any upside, any beneficial attributes to being able to only rent a computer, not owning a desktop, a laptop, anything at your home, the comfort of your house that you can call your own. What do y'all think about that?
Hey, did you know that your smart TV is taking a screenshot of whatever's on your screen every half second and sending it back to the company? And now there is a massive lawsuit behind the entire thing. This is literally insane, and most people, including me, didn't even know that this was happening. A lawsuit just revealed that major TV manufacturers have been using something called automated content recognition, or they're calling it ACR for short, but it spies on everything that you watch, and I mean everything. They're saying that this is how it works. Your software takes a screenshot of your TV every 500 milliseconds, which is twice per second, obviously, and it sends it back to the company. They're saying that of course it doesn't track just what streaming apps you're on, it captures everything on your screen. This means that if you connect a doorbell camera or a security system to your TV, they see it. If you cast photos from your phone, they see it. If you plug in a gaming console or a laptop with HDMI, they see that too. The companies that are under this lawsuit right now include Samsung, Sony, LG, and 2 different Chinese manufacturers, Hisense and TCL. Obviously the TVs that literally everybody has, but a court just granted an emergency order to stop Samsung from collecting this data while the case continues. The potential penalty for this entire thing is up to $250,000 per consumer for collecting illegal data.
Congress spent 2 hours looking at the unredacted files yesterday, and I don't know, but it feels like heads are starting to roll. This is a statement from Rep. Thomas Massey, who him and Ro Khanna honestly deserve a standing ovation, because frankly, none of this would be happening without the very good work they did. So literally, cheers to them. He says, last night I received a flash drive containing the complete list of files belonging to Epstein. Everything is there. Every billionaire, every campaign donor, every single person. Now, let me explain why you haven't heard anything about this in the media, because they're all in there. They will do everything to prevent these documents from being made public. Epstein was far more than just he was an intelligence asset. He was part of a blackmail operation used to control billionaires, politicians, and world leaders. If this list ever sees the light of day, the system as we know it will collapse. The public has the right to know the truth, and I'm not afraid to share. This is the mood I am in, and I'm very excited. I literally, I have chills. I'm excited. Feels like, things are starting to move in the right direction.
I honestly don't know what she's so happy-go-lucky about, because I don't see any repercussions happening. I don't see anything in the works. Maybe in the near future, the feds just will do a sweep and we'll hear about it on the mainstream media. I'll bring it to you guys, of course. Let me know if y'all think anything will happen or come from these files being released.
In all seriousness, I do believe that nothing is ever going to be the same, and that this is going.
Montana has become the first U.S. state to pass a right to compute law, but don't worry, 40 other U.S. states are behind them, and right to compute is essentially a type of law that's being created to shield AI systems and computational like data centers and stuff like that from any kind of regulations. You can see the heat map here of how many different states have these laws proposed from high, medium to low, and kind of what's wild about this is that Congress has been trying to nationally regulate AI. President Donald Trump has signed an executive order to try to block all state AI laws, but states still want to regulate this in their own way. Some states want to clamp down on AI, and some states actually want to sort of go whole hog with it and let them run wild. And both of these people with completely different ideologies have decided the best legal strategy is right to compute. It's modeled after property rights as well as First Amendment rights in order to give rights to these data centers, essentially arguing that using a printing press doesn't invalidate one's right to free speech, so a computer or AI system shouldn't either. That doesn't mean that people are free to make deep fakes or crimes or things like that, like laws still apply to these, but rather if you try to regulate one of these AI data center facilities, they might claim that they have a right to compute and it becomes a constitutional or at least a state constitutional law case. It also gives them a greater claim to utilities. Yay. So if there's ever a dispute between if the old folks home needs electricity or the data center, they're both pretty much going to be equal in the eyes of the state. The problem with this is that we are trying to give rights to data centers that would typically be reserved for living.
What kind of sick joke is this? This right here is supposed to be Ghislaine? Y'all gotta stop tagging stuff you don't own. So real quick, let me walk you through the events. So the last video was her pleading the fifth. This is some more video that we have of her that was a few years ago where she was in some kind of hearing. And then they dropped this video, which was allegedly Ghislaine in her cell. And the timestamp was very curious. We're not getting into that right now. Keep in mind, the Savannah Nancy Guthrie situation has been getting way more widestream attention than the whole drops that happened a few days ago. This person right here, the same person right here, which by the way, the video they gave us, it's incredibly difficult to even get a clip of her face, looks absolutely nothing like this person right here in the courtroom, saying they require clemency to continue speaking. Of course, it's definitely the same person, right? Finally, absolutely 1000% unrelated, not relevant whatsoever. I found this little chat with expert Grok talking to someone, and they're supposed to be describing both the pictures, you know, their face structures. Grok said, there is no way at all, these are the same people.
The powers that be could not think we are that idiotic, where we're not going to use the tools that they gave us to dispose of at our leisure.
Don't y'all like get tired of this at a certain point? Imagine buying this in 2026.
Here's a brand new UFO video of this thing spotted over the pyramids of Giza in Egypt. Yeah, this is in Egypt, and it was just kind of floating there. Actually, it was moving a little side to side, and a lot of people saw this thing. A lot of people recorded it. This is weird. It's definitely unidentified. It's definitely flying. And it's definitely an object, baby cakes. But you know what I thought? Let's look closer. And this closer view helps a little, but not really a lot, because I still can't tell what it is. What the heck is that thing? Well, we know it's not a plane, and it ain't a bird, because its wings aren't a-flapping. Not that it has wings. Also, I really doubt it's a drone, because I don't think the Egyptians let drones go around those pyramids. Here's an even closer look at the UFO above the pyramids. What do you think that could...
Was that a drone? Was that Lockheed Martin? Was that extraterrestrial? Interdimensional? I don't know. Strange things going on, and you know facts are stranger than fiction. I'm gonna keep giving you guys this non-mainstream media non-biased information. As a collective, we gonna figure it all out. One person will never know everything, but as a whole, we gonna get it together. That being said, all money ain't good money. Slow motion always better than no motion. I am Cash, capital K, $ for the S.
Cash Global TV subscribe.